Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Maya.
And I'm Ethan. It's wonderful to have you with us today. Whether you're listening while driving, cooking, walking, or simply relaxing, thank you for spending some time with us.
Today, I want to start with a simple question. Have you ever picked up your phone just to check one message and somehow 45 minutes disappeared?
Oh, absolutely. And the strange part is that it almost never feels like 45 minutes. It feels like 5. Then you look at the clock and think, wait, where did my evening go?
Exactly. It's such a common experience that most of us don't even question it anymore. We just accept it as part of modern life. But maybe we shouldn't. That's what we're exploring today. We're talking about something that quietly affects our happiness, our goals, and even our confidence.
Today's topic is don't waste your time.
Now, before anyone starts feeling guilty, let's make one thing clear. This isn't about becoming busy every second of the day.
Not at all. It's actually the opposite. It's about becoming intentional with your time instead of letting other things decide how you spend it.
I really like that word, intentional.
Me too. It sounds simple, but it changes everything.
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
When did you first realize that time could disappear without you even noticing?
I remember it very clearly. A few years ago, I was working from home. I had a long list of things I wanted to finish. Nothing impossible, just normal work. Around 2 in the afternoon, I thought, I'll take a 10-minute break.
That's always how it begins.
Exactly. I made some coffee, sat on the couch, opened my phone, and watched one short video.
Just one.
That's what I believed.
I think everyone listening knows where this story is going.
Probably. One video became another, then another. Someone recommended an interesting interview, then a funny clip, then a travel video. Before I knew it, I looked outside and the sun was setting.
Oh no.
3 hours had disappeared.
3 hours feels different from 10 minutes.
Very different. But here's the surprising part. I wasn't even happy after those 3 hours.
That's interesting.
If I had spent 3 hours with friends, reading a great book, hiking, learning something new, or even taking a proper nap, I probably would have felt refreshed.
Instead,
I felt strangely empty.
I've noticed that too. Sometimes the problem isn't that we spent time relaxing. It's that we spent time without choosing how to spend it.
That's a really important difference.
Because rest is intentional, right? But mindless distraction often isn't.
Exactly.
You know, this reminds me of something I heard years ago. Someone said that time is like money, except you can always earn more money.
But you can't earn more time.
once a day is gone,
It's gone forever.
that sounds serious.
It does. But I don't think we should hear that sentence as pressure. I think we should hear it as permission.
Permission?
Permission to spend our time on things that actually matter to us.
I love that perspective.
Think about it. Imagine someone gave you $100 every morning.
Nice start to the day.
But there was one rule. Whatever you didn't use by midnight would disappear forever.
I don't think many people would waste it.
Probably not. They would think carefully.
Yet every morning we receive 24 fresh hours.
And somehow we protect our money more carefully than our time.
Wow.
That idea stayed with me for a long time.
Me too, now that you've said it.
But here's another important thought. Wasting time doesn't always look obvious.
That's true.
Sometimes we're extremely busy.
Yet we're still wasting time.
Exactly.
That's a little uncomfortable to hear.
It is. But being busy and being productive
aren't the same thing.
Can you explain that?
Sure. Imagine someone spends 2 hours organizing their desk because they're avoiding writing an important report.
Productive procrastination.
Exactly.
Everything looks useful.
But the real task never gets done.
I've definitely done that.
Me too.
Suddenly, cleaning the kitchen feels incredibly urgent.
Or answering emails you've ignored for 3 weeks.
That's oddly specific.
Because I've done it.
I appreciate your honesty.
We're all human.
You know what I find fascinating? Sometimes our brain chooses easy progress instead of meaningful progress.
That's a wonderful way to describe it.
Crossing small tasks off a list feels satisfying.
It gives us a quick reward.
But writing the first page of something important
Feels uncertain.
and uncertainty makes many people uncomfortable.
That's actually something psychology talks about quite a lot. Our brains naturally prefer immediate rewards over future rewards.
Which explains why scrolling is easier than studying.
Or watching another episode instead of practicing English.
Or buying another notebook instead of actually writing in the notebook.
That one made me laugh because I've definitely collected notebooks faster than I filled them.
I think many listeners are smiling right now.
Probably.
If you're listening today, maybe pause for a second. Not literally if you're driving, but just ask yourself one question.
What's one thing that quietly steals your attention every day?
Maybe it's your phone.
Maybe it's overthinking.
Maybe it's saying yes to everything.
Or maybe it's waiting for the perfect moment before you begin.
There's no need to judge yourself.
Just notice it.
Awareness is usually the first step toward change.
Exactly. We can't improve something we refuse to see.
Can I share a small story?
Please do.
A friend of mine wanted to improve her English for years. Every January, she would make the same promise.
This is the year.
Exactly.
I think we've all said something like that.
She bought books, she downloaded apps, she watched videos about how to learn faster.
Sounds productive.
It looked productive.
But,
She almost never practiced.
You know, something you just said has been staying in my mind. Motivation doesn't always come before action. Sometimes it arrives after we've already started.
I think that's one of the biggest misunderstandings people have. They wait until they feel ready. But readiness is often created by taking the first small step.
That's comforting, actually. It means we don't have to wake up every morning feeling inspired.
Exactly. We just need a system that's easy enough to follow, even on ordinary days.
And ordinary days are most of our lives.
They really are. We often imagine that our future is shaped by big decisions, but it's usually shaped by small, repeated choices.
Like choosing to read for 10 minutes instead of scrolling for 10 minutes.
Right. Or listening to an English podcast while making breakfast, instead of watching random videos that you'll forget 5 minutes later.
That reminds me of a phrase people often use, little by little.
I love that expression because it's so true. Little by little means progress happens in small amounts over time. It doesn't sound exciting, but that's how real growth usually works.
We often celebrate dramatic transformations, but we rarely notice the quiet habits that created them.
That's a great observation.
Can I tell you about something that happened to me recently?
Of course.
I decided to keep my phone out of my bedroom for 1 week. Honestly, I thought it wouldn't make much difference.
And?
The first night felt strange. I reached for my phone without even thinking. It wasn't there.
It's amazing how automatic that habit becomes.
It really is. Instead, I picked up a novel that had been sitting on my shelf for months.
The book finally got its chance.
Exactly. I only read for 15 minutes before falling asleep, but something unexpected happened.
What was it?
The next morning, I woke up feeling calmer. Not dramatically different, just calmer. Sometimes the smallest changes create the biggest emotional difference.
That's what surprised me. I wasn't trying to become a completely different person. I had simply changed one evening habit.
And that's an important lesson. We often think change has to be uncomfortable to be meaningful.
But it doesn't.
No. Sometimes meaningful change feels almost ordinary.
Here's another thought I've been having lately. We usually ask ourselves, how can I manage my time better?
That's the common question.
But maybe there's a better one.
I'm listening.
What deserves my time?
I love that.
It feels different, doesn't it?
Completely different. The first question is about efficiency. The second question is about priorities.
Exactly. And priorities shape our lives much more than perfect schedules.
That's interesting because sometimes we protect our calendar, but not our attention.
Attention is becoming one of the most valuable things we own.
More valuable than ever.
Think about it this way. Every app, every advertisement, every notification is competing for one thing.
Your attention.
Yes. If we never choose where our attention goes, someone else will choose for us.
That's a powerful sentence.
It changed the way I think about my own habits.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. I used to start every morning by checking my phone before I even got out of bed.
I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Within 5 minutes, I'd already seen headlines, messages, advertisements, and social media updates.
That's a lot for your brain before breakfast.
Exactly. I realized I was beginning every day by reacting instead of choosing.
So what changed?
Now I spend the first 20 minutes without looking at my phone.
Was that difficult?
At first, yes, but after a week it became surprisingly natural.
What do you do instead?
Sometimes I make coffee in silence, sometimes I write a few thoughts in a notebook, sometimes I read a page or two of a book, and some mornings I simply sit by the window.
That sounds peaceful.
It is, and I've noticed I feel much more present during the rest of the day.
There's another expression that fits here. Start the day on the right foot. That's a wonderful idiom. It means to begin something in a positive way.
Exactly. And your morning doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to begin intentionally.
I'd like to invite our listeners to imagine something. Go ahead. Imagine it's 1 year from today. You're looking back at this version of yourself. What would make you smile? Would it be finishing 100 books?
Probably not.
Learning 5 new languages?
Also unlikely.
Or would it simply be knowing that you kept one small promise to yourself almost every day?
I think that's the answer.
Those small promises slowly become trust.
Trust in yourself.
And that's something we don't talk about enough.
We usually think confidence comes from success.
But sometimes confidence comes from consistency.
Every time you keep a promise to yourself, even a tiny one, you quietly tell your brain, I can rely on myself.
That's beautiful.
And over time, those little moments become part of your identity.
Instead of saying, I wish I were more disciplined,
You begin saying, I'm someone who follows through.
that's a completely different way of seeing yourself.
It really is.
Before we finish, maybe we should leave everyone with something practical.
I like that idea.
If someone listening feels overwhelmed today, what's the first thing they should do?
I'd say, don't redesign your entire life tonight.
That's good advice already.
Choose one habit that takes less than 10 minutes.
That's it?
That's enough.
Why so small?
Because small habits are easier to repeat, and repeated actions are what change our lives.
So instead of saying, I'll study English for 2 hours every evening,
Say, tomorrow, I'll listen to one short English conversation while I make breakfast.
Instead of saying, I'll stop using my phone forever,
Say, tonight, I'll keep my phone away for 30 minutes before bed.
instead of waiting for a perfect Monday,
Start with the next 5 minutes. I think that's a message many of us need to hear.
Including me.
Me too. Because this conversation isn't about becoming perfect.
It's about becoming more aware,
More intentional.
more present.
And kinder to ourselves along the way.
You know, time isn't just something we spend.
It's something we slowly turn into our life.
So maybe the real question isn't, how much time do I have?
Maybe it's, what kind of life am I creating with the time I already have?
I think that's a beautiful thought to end on.
Me too.
If there's one idea we'd love for you to remember today, it's this. You don't need to make huge changes overnight. A few intentional minutes, repeated day after day, can lead to remarkable growth, not only in your English, but in your confidence, your habits, and the way you experience everyday life.
And remember, resting isn't wasting time. Laughing with people you love isn't wasting time. Learning something new isn't wasting time. The goal isn't to fill every minute with work. The goal is to spend your time in ways that reflect what truly matters to you.
Thank you so much for sharing part of your day with us. We never take your time for granted, and we hope today's conversation gave you something meaningful to think about.
Before we say goodbye, we'd love to hear from you. What's one small habit you could start this week that your future self would thank you for? Tell us in the comments. We genuinely love to read your ideas, and your answer might inspire someone else to take that first small step.
Until next time, take care of yourself, be patient with your progress, and remember that every meaningful journey begins with one intentional choice.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next conversation. Bye for now.